All right, well, I'm going to do something different today, or in this video. We're going to do a two-parter. This is going to be Game Boy Advance Star Wars Episode 3 on the Game Boy Advance, and then we're going to go ahead and also do Mario Tennis on the Nintendo GameCube. Why? Because I played both of these in the last 24 hours. Figured I'd throw it up on the channel for a little gameplay, and I'll just tell you right off the bat. Star Wars Episode 3. What impressed me about this Game Boy Advance game? It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it's in the Star Wars IP, the Star Wars genre, as you would say. And it's a lot of fun. You get a little blocking move with your lightsaber, and there's obviously you can swing it like a sword. And I think the graphics look pretty good for Game Boy Advance. The gameplay is pretty crisp, and for that reason, I wanted to go ahead and get something recorded on this particular game. And then to the second point, Mario Tennis, which we'll do secondly. The Mario Tennis Aces is a pretty good game on the Switch. This is obviously one of the precursors to it. There's actually, I think there's been about 5 Mario Tennis games total. But that one on the GameCube, I had never played before, and I thought it was pretty solid. It was fun. The wacky Mario IP version of sports, typically, crisp, very light, fast paced. So anyway, we're going to get into it on this channel. We're going to do Star Wars Episode 3, and then we'll do Mario Tennis in a combination video for your entertainment. All right, and as we always do, we're going to have fun here in the Corner Arcade. Thanks, everyone. Here we go. thing about this game right off the bat that you should be picking up is the variety of moves for a beat 'em up. So you have your block, obviously your jump, your swing, but then you also have this added move where you can use the force. The combination of all these different things really makes this a interesting side scroller. Besides the fact that you're obviously in the Star Wars IP, which is very cool, their intellectual property, and I use that IP acronym quite a lot on this channel. But yeah, I think that makes it really cool. But the fact that they threw in some more moves, typically speaking, you have your jumping combo moves, but the fact that like, you got your Jedi move, you have your blocking, which actually does something besides saving your health. You can like redirect the the shots back to the enemies is very cool. Like I said, this it's not a like super duper fast paced type game. I think for a side scroller, it's about medium paced, but they want to sink in the fact that you're playing a Star Wars game. They want to give meaning to that, and I think that that actually works because there's lots of beat 'em ups, especially on these types of systems that you're not working in a full like 3D open world like you have in like a lot of modern games or even like PS2, seventh generation, whatever. You're dealing with or seventh generation or so. You're dealing with a 32-bit system, so there's going to be limitations, obviously. So you're not looking at like a Star Wars Episode 2 type game or a Star Wars game you'd find on a modern system. But what you do have is you have a detailed, really thoughtful side-scrolling beat 'em up. I don't know how much this goes in the market. I picked this up via emulation. I am playing this via emulation. So, for that reason, and most of my Game Boy Advance games that I do on this channel, I am doing via emulation. That's how I try out a lot of games. Now, full disclosure, I got this off a gaming suggestion list from, I think this is another pick 'em up from Radical Reggie. I don't remember, but this is a good game. If you can get it for cheap, get it. If you can emulate it, do that. Um, it's definitely worth your time. I think it's a solid game. It plays well. Looks pretty good, like graphically. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to defeat this thing here. Oh, yeah, run over. So I just think this game is pretty. It's well done. Let's see, gotta get this guy to come out. I have a feeling I'm gonna die here. This because I'm low on health, and obviously I'm doing something wrong. Uh, that block doesn't do anything in this game. In this thing, so get around this thing. Green keeps going out for some reason. All right, yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to beat this thing. All right, well, I died there. But anyway, this is Star Wars Episode 3 on Game Boy Advance. Let's hop over to some Mario Tennis so we can take a look at that. Fun game. This also has to be one of the better Mario IP themes I've heard. Just a great theme song. Typical Nintendo. They hit you in the menu music.
Donkey Kong to serve. 15 love. Deep love. Forty love. Game point. Game Donkey Kong. Game love. 15 all. Fifteen 30. Fifteen 40. Match point. Game set match. Donkey Kong.
Okay, I fully recognize I put that on easy. I smoked them, all that jazz, but I hope you get an idea. This game is it's it's very light, it's very fun. It's what you'd expect out of a Mario IP on a sports game. You'll be able to play this casually, a couple of rounds to just get some quick relief, quick break from maybe your Call of Duties of the world or anything. It's not intense. It's not meant to be intense. It's meant to be high fun factor. I'm playing this via emulation, so I'm not playing against friends. But obviously, if I were playing this on my actual GameCube, or if you're playing something like Mario Aces Tennis or whatever on your Switch, obviously you could play multiple players and all that. But nonetheless, this is still a fun game. Typical Mario sports game. It's just very light, and you'll have a blast just kicking it back and forth. And really, that's what it's all about. And that's what we want to do here in the Corner Arcade. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put it in the comments. Like I said, with my emulator, I have access to pretty heavy game load. In fact, I will show you. I added some games to my GameCube collection on here. Crash Nitro Kart, Die Hard Vendetta is a pretty good game. Freedom Fighters. I was playing this the other day for the first time, and I got to tell you, this is a banger of a game. Highly, highly recommend. I'll have to do another video just on this. In fact, I could show you a little bit of gameplay Let's see. Well, I'll just jump in, but I'll show you really quickly. Star Fox. I added Star Fox Adventures, Sonic Riders, which I'm terrible at. Terminator 3, haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to trying that out. And then of course we have, all the wrestling games and all that. So anyway, I can jump into just show you really quickly. Let's see. Let's pull up Freedom Fighters. Let's see how this thing looks. This is just a game I would recommend. I play this if you enjoy Mercenaries, World at Play, or whatever it's called. If you enjoy that, but you can actually play that on your Xbox Series X. If you enjoy that kind of game, you probably enjoy this, or Army of Two. This is an EA game also, but it's a little different. I don't think they have any modern versions of it, but this is an EA game where you're set in a modern American city that gets taken over by Soviet forces, and basically you have to liberate the city by doing missions to take out the army, and then you slowly but surely gain territory back in the region. So that's basically the purpose of this one. And I could do probably a deeper dive on it like later. Obviously, multiplayer is not an option, but I'll just show you very quickly. Let's see. Let's see if I can just load up. Show you some gameplay of this just so you can get an idea.
This is our base. It's a safe zone. We store equipment here. Secure the police.
Please help! We're pinned down here! Please help! We're pinned down here! Ah! Abort! Defend here! All of you! Search over there. Everybody! Regroup! All of you! Stand your ground! Everybody! Please help! We're pinned down here! Ah! Abort!
Great gameplay here.
Scan that. Report all any of you, activity. Everybody, defend this area. All of you, regroup. Everybody, defend here. All of you, please get help. Back here. We're pinned down here.
I can't, for some reason, the button layout's a little messed up. I'm gonna have to check my system. Couldn't figure out how to run. So let me go back to the base and hopefully go to a game or a mission where I'm not just running out in the open, getting slaughtered.
Listen, Isabella is being held in the police station. We need to rescue her. She can stand. The post office is a Soviet stronghold. It is used as...
Yo, man, I gotta talk to you. Wanna blow that gas station? You're gonna need some explosives. You can find some in the other neighborhood.
Abort! Pull out! Regroup! All of you!
The post office is a Soviet stronghold. It is used as a supply depot to support troops advancing into the city. Your brother is being held somewhere inside. Raise your flag on the roof to signal our victory. The post office is a Soviet stronghold. It is used as a supply depot to support troops advancing into the city. Your brother is being held somewhere inside. Raise your flag on the roof to signal out. Secure the police station.
All right, well, kind of in the middle of these missions here. I've never played this before other than yesterday, so I don't really know what I'm doing, where I'm going, or anything like that. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. But anyway, this is Freedom. That was Freedom Fighters on your GameCube. The game is also for the PlayStation 2, Xbox. I believe it came out on the original Xbox. But solid game. I could do a deeper dive into this later. But I just wanted to do some quick gameplay on Mario Tennis, the Star Wars game on your Game Boy Advance. I'll be doing a few other videos like this where I just hop into some randoms just for fun because why not? Sorry about the connection here. The cord I'm using that's connected to my computer, for some reason, is super sensitive at this very moment when I'm recording, and of course, it's totally fine when I'm playing by myself. So anyway, that's the breaks. But anyway, we'll keep doing this, and I'll take requests as well on the channel. Like I said, as I've shown a few times on this channel, right now I have a library on my AYN ODIN 2 of the 3DS, Dreamcast, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, GameCube, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, Nintendo DS, NES, Sony PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, Sony PlayStation, and the Wii really doesn't work. Quick side note I want to throw out there, all the wrestling games, I think I've said this before on the channel, the wrestling games on the PSP are excellent. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Um, they are as close to, I would say this, they're not exact ports, but graphically inferior to the PS2, but closer to like a PlayStation 1 version of the PS2 game. If they came out at the same time on the PS1, they would look like this. Um, Obviously the timeline, if you took a 2008 PlayStation 1 game, it would look like a PSP game in the terms of this wrestling. I think graphically it holds up enough, but what's fun about the game is that it's just a little different vibe mechanically. I don't know if it's not smoother, but it's just a little bit because it's a little rougher around the edges. It has its own charm, and the fact that there's no announcing, the announcing in SmackDown vs. Raw probably the best there's ever been in any wrestling game ever. But the lack of announcing, but the insertion of music instead of announcing makes it feel like you're watching a highlight reel of a wrestling game, which I think has its own charm. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do a bonus on this episode. I'm just going to jump in and play one of these games now. I'm going to have to keep the volume down because I'm sure I'll get a copyright strike, unfortunately, because the music plays on a loop. So of course, once that gets picked up, I will inevitably get a copyright strike on this bad boy. So I'll just leave this out. But we'll do a little quick bonus here of SmackDown vs. Raw. And what I'll do at some point, I think my next video, I will do a little bit of a deeper dive into all of the PSP wrestling games that I've played and talk about, to me, they all have value. And I'll just say this quickly. They all have value because all the rosters are different. This is before you have community creations. So before community creations, you really needed to extrapolate your value from these games based on each one having a slightly different roster. So even if you didn't like all the match types or you had some kind of an issue, with like with the music itself or or maybe the story mode or whatever, I know sometimes it becomes monotonous because, there was a point where these things sort of overlapped, and every year they were pumping out one of these games, hence the fact that they put years on the name. But to be fair, the roster changes year to year were actually important because once you had a roster in this game, it was locked in. Nowadays, when people are missing or removed, community creations can correct that. You couldn't do that back then unless you were the one creating for yourself. What you had in the base game was the game. You had unlockables, but unlockables were not DLC. So you have to take that into consideration. Like you're dealing in a situation where what you have is the game. Okay? And that does make a big difference. So in the roster, let's say on 2008, I mean, first of all, match types right off the bat. Buried Alive, First Blood, Hardcore, Hell in a Cell, Iron Man, Ladder, Last Man Standing, Submission, Ultimate Submission, ultimate submission is just number of submissions you can get within a time period, I believe. Table match, TLC, steel cage, parking lot brawl, and ECW Extreme Rules. Now, ECW Extreme Rules versus Hardcore, the main difference is Hardcore you don't select the weapons, Extreme Rules you do. All right, so a little bit of overlap there, but whatever. So let's just say let's just throw in a hardcore match. And look at this roster here. Jeff Hardy, JBL. JBL was locked at this point. If I had him on. Elijah Burke, Edge, CM Punk, Chavo Guerrero, Carlito, Bobby Lashley, Batista, all the legends I didn't unlock in this game. Tommy Dreamer, Sabu eventually, once I got him unlocked. William Regal. Mr. McMahon locked is kind of weird. Umaga, Triple H, Snitsky. I might have unlocked these and didn't and just didn't save it or something, but here. Let's do Randy Orton versus the Sandman. How about that? To do that in 2K24. Didn't have this in a lot of games though. Sandman's not in a lot of games, so pretty cool to have him here. So like I said, the music is gonna play instead of having announcing, which I think has its own charm to it. Oh, I love this entrance.
This is a hardcore match. On the way to the ring.
Hey, nothing you can say. Nothing's gonna change what you've done to me. All right, then we got Sandman coming out. Graphically, like I said, it's not it's not Murderer's Row or anything. I mean, look, we're not talking about a 2024 video game. We're talking about a game from this game came out in 2007. But it holds up in terms of like what you need. I mean, the fans obviously, if you lower the graphics, they reduce the number of fans and all that. So again, it saves where it can, but to me it doesn't matter. Like, it's about the core gameplay, and you can still have some fun with this game. Let's go right for that weapon. My favorite weapon in this, the ring bell. Oh man, he ripped it. Oh, nice. I think I'm grabbing the wrong button there. Here we go. Nice shot. Triple H choke. It's in the ring. Damn it, with the counter. Didn't know we're dealing with Kurt Angle here. What the heck? Uh-oh. Oh, Edge is gonna help me out here. Oh, he's bleeding. And look at this. There's a PSP game where the blood stains the mat. And how about that? We're talking about a game 2007 here, and we got the blood staining the mat. Not bad, huh? I mean, to me, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is again PSP. This isn't even the main system title, and the fact that they got that into this game, that's pretty awesome. Very, very cool. Edge got a chair, but I don't need backup. Yeah, Edge and Randy Orton were, for those of you kids who don't know, Rated RKO was the tag team. They were like a little mini, they were a tag team and a little faction against DX for a little while, which was pretty cool. Ah, yeah, nice. RKO, that should be it. Counter ref. It's like he's gonna burn in my light. So, this game is fun, man, and you could do pretty much everything in this game you could do in the PS2 game. So I think you'll find yourself having a blast with these PSP wrestling games. I have everything from 2006 up through 2011. If you emulate, this is really easy to do because they're relatively small games, so you can just put them all on your whatever device you're using and have a blast with it. PSP was a great system, completely underrated. Probably one of the better systems Sony ever made. I would argue the PSP was better than even the PlayStation 4 in terms of the library and the fun factor you could have. It was a mini PS2. Again, graphics are not the main point of it. It's about gameplay, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with this. And we'll do a deeper dive into the wrestling games on the PSP. But I wanted to just give you a little bonus of this video, a little preview, since my Freedom Fighters wasn't working out the way I wanted. So that's what we want to do. We just want to have fun, and that's what we like to do here in the Corner Arcade. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good evening.